I am Jim Collison and live from the Gallup campus here in a beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. This is Gallup's Called to Coach, recorded on August 2nd, 2019. Called to Coach is a resource for those who want to help others discover and use their strengths. We have Gallup experts and independent strengths coaches share tactics, insights, and strategies to help coaches maximize the talent of individuals, teams, and organizations around the world. If you're listening live, we'd love to have you join us in our chat room. You can ask questions there. If it's after the fact, send us an email, coaching@gallup.com. Austin Solentrop is my guest today. He's also the host, and Austin is the new CliftonStrengths portfolio manager here at Gallup. Austin, welcome to Called to Coach.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Good to have you. We got a lot of information to kind of roll through today as of August 2nd, 2019.
Sure.
Got some big changes coming up, and so folks have dialed in to hear a little bit about that. But why don't you get us started today on our material?
Yeah, so it's great. Good afternoon, evening, morning to all of you out there, whatever time you're listening to us. I'm actually, for once, not in my home office talking to you all. I'm actually here in Omaha as well. So I've been here the last couple of days meeting with our teams and our technology partners, really working on all the things we're trying to bring to the market this fall. So got some great news sort of hot off the presses I can share with you. So last time I was on, we were talking about this big sort of move from Gallup Strength Center with the sunset of Strength Center and the move into Gallup Access. And since we last spoke, right, the timing of that shift has changed a little bit, right? So we pushed back our big move and migration from Gallup Strength Center into Access to September 20th. Right. So that's probably the biggest headline, if you will, is we pushed it back a month from August to September. And really, I'll tell you, the big reason why it gave us more time to do testing, to make sure everything is running smoothly like we hoped it would. And it also allowed us to add in a few more features and enhancements to the experience to make sure it's as smooth as possible for all of you, for all of our clients, for all of our 21 million plus worldwide users who have their strengths stored in our databases, right? So a month delay for us really was an easy decision to make sure we could make sure it was as smooth of a process as possible. So September 20th is the new big day. We're really excited about that. We're ramping up all of our communication efforts around that. So today, obviously, we'll talk a little bit about it. If you're a certified coach and you're listening to this, every month in the Certified Coaches newsletter, we'll be sort of sharing more and more details around that. We've been talking about it since April or May, probably in the newsletter, but we'll have some more information every month as we get closer to the timing. So that's the first big thing, is the date moving back. But the exciting news around that is it's going to be, we're not changing the date again. It was one of the things met with the teams today and talked about, and we're all good to go for that front. And what you can expect from us, sort of the impact of that date change, right, is I say for certified coaches in particular, is it does impact the communications we've been making around when your discount code resets, right? So again, this fourth quarter of 2019, with the move to Access, we're giving everybody a new batch of 350 discounted codes. So instead of that happening in August, that's going to happen in September. So that's probably from a tangible impact of the date change, probably the thing I want to make sure everybody's clear on is that come September 20th, when we shut down GSC, when you log in on September 25th, right? So that they have about a 5-day window where we'll be getting all the codes sort of refreshed and updated. On September 25th, you'll get a fresh batch of 350 discounted codes you can use. Those are only good through the end of 2019, right? Come January of 2020, it's back to 350 codes for the year of 2020. So for 2019 only, it's a one-time deal. We're giving you an extra 350 codes at a discounted rate, right? So it's our way of sort of showing some appreciation and gratitude for going through this migration with us to give you that extra opportunity. So for you as coaches out there that are thinking about big events, or thinking of clients, or thinking of making purchases for codes this year, I'd really encourage you to max out that discount batch you have between now and the middle of September. So you then open yourself up to another big batch of discounted codes at the end of the year. Yeah.
Austin, technically, when they'll switch a little bit. So on the Gallup Strength Center today, when you make a purchase, the discount code is automatically applied to your at checkout.
Yep.
We'll be giving you a code. So you'll be getting an email. You're going to have a new code. It'll be unique to you. You'll need to insert that into the store.
Yep.
To get access.
Yeah. Think about it like a promo code. Like when you do a lot of online purchasing right now, you have a promo code that applies a discount. In Access, each coach will have their own unique promo code.
Yeah.
That'll allow you to apply that discount.
And let's be really clear, because there's a question in the chat room. This applies to our Gallup certified coaches who are currently certified.
Correct.
So if you're listening to this and you've been through the training, and there are some of you, I don't know why, but there are some of you who completed our training who have not completed certification. If you can get in and get that done, you can take kind of advantage of this for the second half of the year. So a great way to take advantage of that as well. Also, clarification, Austin. So our systems will go down at 8 p.m. on the 20th. That's a Friday. That's our typical normal downtime window for that. And the new Gallup Access will come back online. I think some people have been confused that, oh, wait a minute, are you going to be down until the 25th?
Nah.
So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the system will come back up and be up and running like it normally would after downtime maintenance. So you're not talking about 5 days of going without Gallup Access. We're talking more a matter of hours of going without Gallup Access, right? What's not going to be up and live is the application of the discount code, right? So it does take us a little bit extra time to get that sort of up and running because we're migrating, I want to say something like 45 million different components with all these results that are moving into Access. So it's going to take us a couple days to get all of that stuff done to get the promo code up and running. So that 5-day window is just for the promo code, not for functionality of Access. You'll be able to log back in after the downtime in a matter of hours to see the platform and get results. That's why we do it at 8 p.m. on a Friday night in the US, because aside from the few of us who are avid strengths nerds, we're not spending our Friday nights oftentimes in the platform looking at results, right? So that's why we do it then.
It's historically, we ran some stats, and it's historically our lowest traffic. Amy asks, Austin, but all of our outstanding codes from Gallup Strength Center, so anything you've purchased to date, Strengths Community Reports, all moved over, correct?
Absolutely. Actually talked with our technology team this week, and that process is almost sort of done already. They're working on that, and they'll keep updating it as we get closer and closer to the date. But yes, any codes you've purchased, right, they're in there. Any unused codes that you've purchased are in there. All the community function and connections and sharings, they're moving with you. Yep. So that's part of all those data points it takes us to move over. But yeah, you're not going to miss any of that.
Big elephant in the room is the Excel export going to be available at launch?
The Excel export will be available at launch. Yes. It's gonna operate a little bit differently. So you'll create it a little bit differently, but it is there. Yes. So, in fact, I think the way we've done it is a little bit easier in some senses, opens up a little bit more usage of it. So, yeah, we have that's one of the things by delaying us a month, we were able to ensure we're having ready functioning the moment we go live with the new platform. Absolutely.
Sounds cool. If you guys still have questions, this is the right time to ask them. Throw them in the chat room.
I love that little sort of visual of the question on the bottom.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
It makes me realize you're not just making the questions up. People are actually asking you these things.
Oh, I used to do that. Trust me, and I still will. I'm just gonna say that. Sometimes if I want to ask a difficult one, but I want to hide it behind maybe somebody else, totally. I'll just say, well, we have somebody in the chat room that said so.
Right.
Appreciate that, Austin. As we think about other things, coaches should kind of be thinking about, and really not just coaches but consumers.
Absolutely.
So as we think about some of the things that are coming forward, what other kind of advice or how else would you talk about this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about the fact that the functionality we have in GSC being very consumer driven over the years, and we've got years of tailoring it and adding to it. We're able to get that consumer functionality brought over into Access, and inside Access already was very much a company and team-driven platform, right? So we're sort of merging those two worlds together, and we understand just how much change this is, and just how much change is sort of coming with this migration. So I wanted to walk through maybe real briefly, high level, everything that's really changing. I think there's really three big components that are changing. The first is that Gallup Strengths Center is going away. So if you think about all the bookmarks, if you think about all your favorites, if you think about links you may have in communications and emails and websites and things along those lines, that website will no longer work, right? GallupStrengthsCenter.com is going away. It will redirect traffic to the right place, right? So if you go there, if somebody clicks a link, if you type in the website, it will redirect you to the right place going forward. But that site by in and of itself is going away. Just, from our perspective, it's a tremendously successful place. So this is not something we're just doing on a whim, right? But it is going away. So that's the first big thing. The second big thing is we had to create a new place for a lot of that content to live. So right now, Strength Center is our marketing presence online. It is our purchasing presence online. It's got a lot of content like the coach's blog and Called the Coach episodes, a lot of things that are really valuable. So we've had to find new places for all of those to live. And the main sort of new home is going to be gallup.com/CliftonStrengths. So from all of our marketing perspective, that's going to be there. A lot of the stuff that Jim's been talking to you about already about the moving of the coach's blog and so forth, right? And how we've been sort of working on an enhanced experience around that. It's going to be living through there. So it's exciting because it's going to bring it into the brand and the look and the feel of Gallup.com, which brings a little bit of a heightened professional look, professional presence. And it brings it, again, as I talked about it at the summit, if you were there at the summit with the Call to Coach we did live at the summit, it brings Clifton Strengths back to the center of everything Gallup does, right? So it's no longer off on its own, doing it sort of living in our own little world. It's now embedded in the heart and the presence of Gallup.com, which really gets me excited. And when we were able to build that new home for everything, I'm not kidding. We have got so much new content that's going to be included on that marketing presence, on that page. We're talking about new videos and new articles, new tools and things and ways to help your clients, to help you learn more about Clifton Strengths. So I'm really proud and excited for what we've been able to do in that space. Our team of communications and marketing team that have put this together done an incredible job. So I think you all will really love the new landing page, the new home for where everything you go on the web around Gallup's approach to Clifton Strengths. So that's the second sort of big thing. You got the elimination of Strength Center. You have the creation of Gallup.com/Clifton Strengths. And then the third thing that's really changing is the complete redesign of Strengths on Gallup Access, right? And that's going to be the one that I think probably many of you have the most anxiety or curiosity around at this point, because you've heard about it, but you haven't had a chance to see it yet. And you haven't had a chance to play around and know what it looks like. And it impacts how you operate. And I get that. So I wanted to share with you a couple of opportunities you're going to have, that things that Jim and I are working on for you so that you can have a chance to see it and experience it. So about 1 month from now, on September 6th, we're going to do a Call to Coach dedicated to Clifton Strengths on Gallup Access. So I'm going to have my technology partner right on here with us. Emily is going to join us. She's fantastic. She's been leading the team that has been building all of this in Access, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually come and show you what it looks like. So we'll do an entire episode dedicated to demonstrating for you what Strengths on Access looks like. We'll show you screenshots. We'll show you how some of the tools work, where things live, demonstrate some of the things that are new, and also maybe sort of highlight some of the things you're used to on Strength Center and where you can find them on Access. So make sure on September 6th, you're either here live so you can see it in the moment, but also it's a great resource if you want to share with clients of yours. If there are people that you work with that you know they're going to be impacted by this, it's a great way to sort of be on the cutting edge, seeing what it looks like. So our hope is that we can demonstrate and show you a lot of the stuff you're curious about on September 6th. The following week, so that's on Friday, on September the 10th, we're actually going to go a step further and offer 3 interactive webinars, one early morning U.S. time for our friends in Europe, one probably midday, early afternoon for the US crowd, and then one late evening US time for our friends in Australia and Asia. And we're going to do a little more interactive demonstration of the site. And our hope there is that you can be coming with questions, and having seen the sort of our demo on the 6th, come with the things you're really curious about, the things that you saw that piqued an interest or caused concern for you. And we will make sure that we can address those questions either in the moment or log them and make sure we're able to share back through FAQs and in different ways the curiosities you have there. So that week of September 6th through the 10th, that Friday through Tuesday, we're going to be coming with a lot of opportunity to show, demonstrate, and really feature what this move is going to be able to do for all of you.
Austin, Cheryl's asking in the chat room, last time we mentioned a free consumer level of this. Is that still the case? And then maybe talk a little bit about for anyone who just stays at the consumer level, what that access could look like.
Absolutely. There will be no requirement to buy a subscription to get into access, right? So all of our consumers who got a code will be able to go into access, log in, see their results. We will, their experience, so the consumer experience will be very similar to the features and the things you're used to seeing in Gallup Strength Center, right? So if you're a coach, or you're a manager, or you're a person who has bought bundles of codes in the past and you send them to friends and you can see their results in Strength Center and you've got people you're sharing with, all that type of functionality is still there in access. What's new, and we'll break this down in greater detail for you as in the demo, is you'll have the opportunity to unlock new features through a subscription, right? So anything the subscription's doing is over and above what you've ever had access to in the past on Strength Center. Yeah. So we understand the need for there to be a free service that we can provide, and we have that.
And I think a good example, that's the code management piece.
Yeah.
So today, code management in Gallup Strength Center, pretty basic. Can't do a lot of things with it, but they're there. Yeah. The migration across onto Gallup Access, code management will be there, but no advanced features.
Right.
We have built new advanced features coming in the subscription. Will be access to those code management features that way. When are we going to talk, or have we, about pricing in subscriptions? Austin, is that stuff that'll maybe be coming more in more detail through the newsletters and in September?
Yep, that's what I would say. I would say is sort of the place to stay tuned for that. We're still actively developing a suite centered at coaches for 2020. Mm-hmm. So that's really what you can go into Access through the remainder of 2019 and have a very similar experience to what you've been doing in Strength Center, right? As we go into 2020, we're continuing to build additional things aimed at coaches in particular. So stay tuned for more on that.
Yeah, and I think my advice for certified coaches and just about everyone, let's get through the migration and get in there, and let's get everything moved before you start making decisions about buying more things.
Yeah.
I think, like Austin said, we got some future-looking things that'll be coming in 2020. Anyone can purchase the $1,500 access to Access, just like any organization today, if you wanted to do that. That's not restricted. You could do it today. I would just say, hey, if you're not using it now, hang tight. Let's get through the migration. Let's see how Access goes. On the other side of this, if you want to contact us after the migration, after we're on Access, and talk about that, which you to one of our sales folks, and they can talk through all the ramifications of it. Be a lot smarter way to kind of do it. A lot of changes going on, and I just think it'd be good to. Most companies won't tell you to wait, but we're going to say, let's get through the migration and let's see how things go. Yep. Kind of off topic, Austin, BP10 has kind of come up as a question. Mm-hmm. What are we doing with BP10? How's that going to work? Different site, same site?
BP10's coming into Access. Okay. So it's right there with us. So if you think about the strength sort of we consider it almost a strengths assessment, right? So it'll be living in Access as well.
Yep. So let's see. I just saw a question here. Margaret's asking more advanced level code features that require that. So we'll talk about that more in some future updates that we have coming as far as what are some of those features.
I would say around that, we're working on, speaking to it's one thing, but being able to show you what it looks like is really the I think the benefit on that. So we've got some collateral we're creating that sort of walks through all the features and what are you used to on GSC, what do you get in Access for free, and then what do you get with a subscription. So stay tuned. We'll have those polished up here shortly.
Yeah, if you want to do a deep dive, send us an email, coaching@gallup.com. Well, let us know. We'll have one of our specialists call you back, spend some time with you, kind of walk through the options. let's do that one-on-one a whole lot better than trying to do it on a webinar and a chat room.
Yep.
So to speak. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's volume is different.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to want to have to do in the future, we want to do more of these conversations with you one-on-one. It's just a lot easier. We've learned everybody's situation is different. And so in the future, we're going to encourage you more as you have some of these things, as you want to think about different purchases, adding on training, putting in modules, getting access to new things that we're doing. We're really going to ask you to get a call with one of our sales folks and kind of have that conversation going forward. Austin, what else? Have we anything else that as far as we think of platform we want to talk about now?
I think that's the big stuff.
Okay.
Stay tuned to the coaches newsletter. We got one coming out next week. And then as well, obviously to Called the Coach, the Facebook groups, we'll be sharing things as best we can, as early as we can. Right. But we're feeling really good.
Yeah. And again, questions, coaching@gallup.com. We'll get you in and we will get those answers back to you. One thing that hasn't come up, I've actually been surprised that this hasn't come up, is like, where's the coaching directory going? Like that, to me, that has been, I've been surprised. So we'll be a little proactive and we'll talk about that now. So we have a brand new coaches directory coming. No changes to it. Still the same functionality, picture information you're putting on. Behind the scenes, we've been working on improving that, of getting you access to being able to update that on your own, for you to be able to kind of add some pieces in. We're still going to review a lot of the stuff that goes in, but we're working on those pieces. But functionally, when the site moves, you'll have a new address. You'll go to gallup.com/coaches directory. I think that's pretty cool that it's that easy. Will be that easy to find and that easy to share with customers if you want to do it that way. Your current ad will migrate automatically and you get a brand new URL, and we will forward your current URL to the new one. So that should work seamlessly as we move those across, and then you'll have a new URL. You can go in and pick that up after conversion and start changing things. We'll forward it in advance of it so that you don't, if you've linked that somewhere in your bio or you're doing some of those kinds of things, that should all work pretty seamlessly. We will and have fixed the search. Search was a little crazy in the way it did some of the things that it did. And we've improved that and made that just a little bit simpler and a little less, we did some randomization on that for some reasons. And we found out that didn't really work as well as we thought it would. And so we're taking some of those pieces out, and your directory piece will move over pretty seamlessly. I don't know, Austin, anything else I missed on that, or anything you'd add?
I think so. I think it's great.
Okay. So we're continuing to take questions from the chat room if you want to do that. Austin, what else do you want to talk about?
Yeah. So what I love about this group, the people who tune in to Called the Coach, is there's a passion not only for strengths, obviously, but a passion for helping people, a passion for driving some sort of change in their organizations, in your communities, whatever group it is that's really sort of your focus. Sometimes it's students, sometimes it's ministry, sometimes it's your company, right? And so I get asked a question a lot in my role, and I have over the last several years traveling the world talking about culture and strengths and engagement, is why do you do this? Like why strengths? Why should we care about this? And what I found is interesting is when organizations or teams or leaders or individuals focus on strengths, it can absolutely change people's lives. That's why many of us have devoted our lives to it, right? But when it doesn't, when it doesn't have that profound impact that we think it can, what was different about that experience? What was different about the interaction or the way it was teed up or introduced that causes it to maybe fall flat or just sort of be a team building type of tool? And what I found in my experience in talking with coaches and leaders is oftentimes we forget why we're doing it. We either as the coach or the facilitator or the manager, we make it all about strengths and not about either the person or what the person is trying to accomplish. So I wanted to spend a few minutes today just sort of sharing through some examples and some stories around how I think we can keep the why really sort of top of mind. I've said on this channel before, or certainly in person, if you've ever spoken with me, I'm not a big reader. right? Learner's actually 34 for me. So I learn through conversations with people, and I learn through listening to people's stories. So TED Talks have always been a really big sort of forum for me to learn and digest information. And so one of my favorite early on, most profound TED Talks I ever had was Simon Sinek's Golden Circle, like the start with why, right? And how when you think about organizations or you think about teams, companies that have been successful, they oftentimes start with their message of why, and then they work their way out to the what it is. So if you apply that to strengths coaching, or you apply that to being a strengths advocate or a strengths champion in your organization, if we lead with, well, here's strengths, this is a really great thing, you should love it, it's so cool, it's changed my life. That's a big thing of what the tool is, how it works. There's 34 themes based on research, all the features and functions. And when you do that, you're having to fight through a lot to make a connection to something that matters. The earlier we can get to the why strengths, why are we here? Why are you talking to me in the first place? Then we can more easily connect. Well, here's how strengths can help you do that. Strengths should be a medium for helping people get better at something, for helping people improve performance at something, for helping them improve relationships, right? So as coaches and as consultants and as champions, whatever role we're playing in this journey, we should be making sure we're thinking about the why first. But I think because we're so passionate about strengths, we oftentimes just come full speed ahead with strengths first. And then it becomes all about the tool. And if strengths is what we're leading with and pushing with, I don't think we're serving it up, or we're not fulfilling its higher potential, right? We're making it about this assessment and this report and this tool, not about helping a human being with something they're dealing with, right? And so I sort of use that as sort of the tee up, Jim, to sort of think about almost issuing a challenge to this group on that's listening. Like, what's your why? And why did you get into this in the first place? And that every interaction we're having as a strengths coach, as somebody who's advocating for the movement, we've got to remember there was a reason that got you into this in the first place. There's a reason you said yes to taking the assessment the first time, right? Like, what was that? Like, what was it that got you passionate and excited? And how can you help connect more people to that kind of a feeling, and less about trying to either, show them the value of the assessment? Like, let's connect to the why of people, right? And I think that's sort of my thinking of today. And so when it'd be hypocritical of me to do all this talking and then not at least sort of make sure you all know my why, right? But I'm in this role because I genuinely believe that the tension, the frustration, the lack of understanding that goes on in workplaces and in our communities comes from people not understanding where other people come from. It comes from human beings, in my experience, thinking everybody looks, sounds, and feels the way they do. So when people look, sound, and feel differently, they either get scared or they don't know how to connect. And so they, rather than seeking to understand other people, they just sort of go on through their day thinking about things from their perspective only. I believe understanding strengths and my personal strengths, right, sets me up to walk around every day in this world better cognizant of the unique filters I have. And as a part of that, inherently being curious about the unique filters other people have. So I think strengths helps me have better quality interactions with every human being I meet. And I think if we can grow the strengths movement from 21 million to 1 billion, right, I think that leads to better quality interactions between human beings in every community in this world. I genuinely believe that. So everything I do is driven at that why, at that improving interactions of human beings so we better understand one another. I think it could lead to a decrease in crime and a decrease in violence and war. I genuinely believe that, right? But I've spent time thinking about that, and I've internalized it, and I've figured out how my day-to-day life helps serve that better outcome. So that the challenge to us as coaches, I think, should be thinking, how much time have we spent with our clients helping them figure out what their why is? And if we can do that, man, the strengths connection's a piece of cake. Because now my strengths tell me how to activate on that ambition, how to activate on that mission I've got, right? So now every day I can say, how can I use my communication to make that a reality? How can my activator help me make that a reality? But if I go into a coaching conversation, or if my coach were to approach me saying, hey, Austin, let's talk about your strengths today, and I've got no context to what they're serving, it's just sort of a fun team building, get to know me activity, right? So Jim, that's me talking an awful lot there without any commentary from you. So I'd love reactions, thoughts.
No, right on. I mean, we've got a lot of things to do and a lot of places to go. I think sometimes if you don't know the why, you can kind of get stumbled over the operational aspects of things. And, it comes down to printing reports or figuring out what activity to use. That really becomes kind of those are really the modes and to get those things done. And every day we sit here thinking about, like, how do we continue to, how do we continue to make things that helps people change?
Right.
That helps businesses be better. Mm-hmm. How do we measure that? How do we help people measure that? How do we do all those things? And so, no, super excited. Austin, I'm always overly optimistic in what I do. It's part of my Woo communication positivity triplet.
Yep.
That comes together, but I'm pretty excited about what is to come. And let's not lose sight of the fact that of what you said, we're here to coach. And I think sometimes we spend too much time on modes and not enough time on the methods and actually out there doing that. And so some exciting times. We're hoping to get some distractions of things out of the way, get you some new tools to make some things work, to increase your why, to help you with your why, and continue to move forward.
Yeah. So I had somebody ask me the other day, also, why are we getting rid of GSC and moving it into Access? If it works, why are we doing this? And I think it's a completely valid question. And so I think it's good for this community to hear a little bit about why we're doing it and why we think this is the right thing to do. And we have a vision that Gallup Access becomes the place where every manager inside every organization goes to for their understanding of people, that they can't live without going to Access every day to know their people better, to know how to interact with them, what they can do to help, how they can, meet the engagement needs, the development needs, play to their strengths, all that stuff, right? Well, if we've got 21 million people in the world who have taken strengths, right, and they're living in a different place, if we can bring them into this same portal, we're developing as part of this. We've got things like AI and machine learning embedded in this to help create recommendations and push and nudge managers to articles and tools and advice on how they can improve interactions with other humans on their team and in their organization. By bringing all of those people in, that's a lot more data points that help us inform that. It drives more people interacting with it that helps us make that tool better. And so by able to sort of focus our energy as organizations, instead of having to manage 4 or 5 disparate platforms where people interact with CliftonStrengths, and we can get that down to one, it allows us to channel resources more efficiently so that we can help change the world faster, right? So I get really excited about this because I think this is a huge step towards that vision and towards that long-term goal of being able to make this the place where you go, where we know we have insight into human beings that no other organization has. And many of you believe that. That's why you're part of this movement, right? So how do we leverage that the most? Well, a big part is to get as many people involved with and interacting with that content as we can, right? So we're really excited. That's a bit of the why we're doing it. I was sharing with somebody asked me, the other day. I've got positivity number 5, right? And somebody's asking me how my positivity and futuristic work together. And what I realized with my combination of futuristic and positivity is I know it's going to happen. Like, I know we're going to change the world, and I know we're going to get to 1 billion people, right? I've also got strategic. So I know there's like 85 different ways it could happen, right? But what gets me excited is this big step we're about to go through makes about 85 to 185, however many possibilities open to us. It opens the door to us being able to do a lot of different things. And it gets me really amped up for where we're taking the movement, right? But I think it's really important for all of us to remember, as humans, change is not something we love to do. In general, change is not something that humans love to go through, right? So we understand, we appreciate, we're sensitive to how much change you all are experiencing in interacting with us. And so that's why we want to open the doors of communication as much as possible. So I think this is a great forum for that. The tools we're providing around webinars and other demos, a way for that. Many of you interact with Jim on Facebook all the time. That's a great forum for that, right? But keep it coming. I've been really proud of how many people have emailed me, just like saw me on a Call to Coach, got curious about something, emailed me questions. Love that. Keep it coming. That helps us serve you best, right? So I just want to make sure we're connecting back the importance of not getting so wrapped up in the tool and in the what we're doing for our people that we lose sight of the why. And that why is different for each and every one of us.
Yeah, I agree. Last call for questions on this. Amy had asked a question about the digital kits for learning.
Yep.
That site not changing for now, but there will be a pass-through or a link in Access for the digital kits and some new things that are coming. That's as exciting to me. You know, you were saying why we're moving, and the technology that we built the Gallup Strength Center on, it was 7-year-old technology. Yeah. And now we're using some of the newest, latest, and greatest, which allow us to listen and react to your feedback.
Yeah.
I want a single place to go buy things.
Right.
Okay. That's part of this, right? That's part of that move. I want access to more and better and updated learning. I want more digital learning. All those things we can do, and we'll make those available for you in various ways. We are opening up being able to offer more purchasing options in different currencies around the world. That's pretty cool. That's hard to do. Amazon struggles with that. That is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And so with this comes some more options for that. So Austin, I think I get excited. I'm a future thinking technology guy.
Yep.
You know, I love kind of the new stuff and the shiny bells and whistles and all those things. I love that stuff. And it's setting us up nicely for that in 2020.
Yeah.
We've really got to work hard to get that platform in and stable and working in the basics, like blocking and tackling.
Right.
The rest of 2019, really about blocking and tackling with software platforms.
Yep.
Making sure things work, making sure the experience is what it was before, making sure all the data is migrated, making sure people have access to it, making sure you can find things, all the blocking and tackling. So you may not see anything really big or new right away. And then as we get into 2020, we've got some great opportunities to build on top of that.
Well, yeah, and Jim, I think one thing I get asked a lot about, well, how's this going to impact the app, right? If you're using the CliftonStrengths app, right? So I would tell you that the CliftonStrengths app is going to be folded into Gallup Access as well, right? So you will end up getting the opportunity to merge from that app into the Gallup Access app, which is going through a redesign as well, right? So I'm a big fan of carrying this thing around everywhere, right? Well, then I should be able to have access to all the same stuff there. So we're working on enhancing that experience as well. When I say that our technology teams have been working overtime on this, that's a disservice to the phrase overtime, right? It's an absolute disservice to the phrase overtime. But yeah, so the app is getting an update and refresh as well. That will get folded in to Access app.
Yeah. Many of you, it's been hard for me because many of you have been pounding on that app. And I'm like, and I knew we were working on a new one behind the scenes. And I'm like, well, you just be patient. It's coming. It's coming. Be patient. It's coming.
Yeah.
We'll have some new things. And so that app will be your current Strength Center app will be deprecated, and we will stop supporting it. You should delete it. And in September, October, you should move over to the Gallup Access app. That'll be available for you. That'll be available for free.
Yeah, and we'll have all of the communication. You'll get all of the specifics to that through your app stores and things along those lines. We'll send out communication around it as well, right? So we're not going to leave you in the dark on it. I just want to make sure you knew that you'll get the chance for the mobile technology to be updated as well.
No, sounds good. We have a lot of work to do, Austin. I think you and I are going to be pretty busy over the next 2 months.
For sure.
I'm excited about spending that time with you.
Yeah.
I think I don't have any more questions from the chat room. You have anything else before I close it?
No, I want to sort of close it out by thanking everybody who's on this. I think back to when I first started my strengths journey, when I became a certified strengths coach in 2013. And I want to say we had just over 7 million people in the database at the time I went through my strengths coach training, right? And we're over 21, almost 21 and a half now. We don't get there just from us selling codes, right? We get there from organizations and teams and a lot of passionate coaches who take this to their organizations, take this to their families, to their friends, to their clients, and help spread it. We have grown from that 7 million to over 21 and almost 21.5 million now because people derive a passion for this and they see the value, and you all go and take it to the world, right? So we wouldn't be in a position to be making these upgrades without the equal shared passion and commitment that you all bring. So all I ask going forward is that we keep that passion burning, that we keep that why, whatever our why is, sort of in the front of our minds, and that we figure out how to help connect strengths to the whys for all of our clients. So we make sure we take full advantage of it. So I'm genuinely grateful to each and every one of you. I appreciate it, Jim. Always a pleasure to hop on here with you. And we'll be back about a month from now with a whole lot more detail, a whole lot more of things to show you. Between now and then, you'll be getting plenty of communication from us. So if you're not signed up for like marketing emails from us, this is a great time to make sure you're getting those emails, because we're sharing a lot of information about this change through that as well.
You said full advantage. I'll remind everyone to take full advantages of all the resources we have available at the Gallup Strength Center for now. My.gallup.com. You can actually go there now if you want to go take a look. Nothing has been migrated, by the way. If you land on that access site and you sign in, that is not necessarily the experience you're going to see. So just want to warn you, some of you have figured out and have let me know, hey, I can get into access. Yeah, it's available for you right now as a consumer if you want to log in. Most of the functionality has not been updated, and that will come here in September. But if you want to go take a look, you can do that as well. Some resources available for you there as well. If you have questions or comments, again, send us an email, coaching@gallup.com. Great way to get in touch with us. And then don't forget, and we didn't talk too much about this, but the coaches blog is making a complete migration as well. And so all those articles, most of them, we've some had gone out of date. We've removed them, but all those articles are being moved onto Gallup.com. And so the new site for that will be Gallup.com/CliftonStrengths. Super easy to find and super easy to get access to. We've updated some things. We've made some things easier. If you've been watching on the podcast or on the YouTube channel, that has all become standardized now. And titling is all the same. And you can see season and episode. We have season and episode playlists that are available for you. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on to get ready for this September launch, to just kind of clean some things up and make some things better for you. So you can see some of that at coaching.gallup.com right now. If you're interested in becoming a Gallup certified strengths coach, maybe you're listening to this and you're like, oh, how do I get training on this? Yep. You can see all the courses that lead to it, and even some that don't, available for you on our courses page, courses.gallup.com. Austin mentioned our marketing. You might want to get signed up, be on our lists to get notified. You might also want to follow us on Eventbrite. So go to gallup.eventbrite, Brite is the site. Follow us there, and anytime we have a new webcast coming out, you'll get a notification. Greatest way to stay up to date on the live ones. It's always better to join us live, but recorded works okay too. But sign up, gallup.eventbrite.com. And then, of course, a lot of things are going on in our Facebook community. So go to facebook.com/groups/called-to-coach, or we have a Gallup trained group on LinkedIn. If you want to do it that way, maybe you're not a Facebook fan, you want to do it on LinkedIn, we have that available there as well. I want to thank you for joining us today. We'll see you back. We've got some, actually, I have a call to coach later on tonight. If you want to do a Friday night, Saturday morning, You can join us a little bit later tonight. Lots of things going on. With that, we'll say goodbye, everybody.